I done tussle with a whale. I done handcuff lightning, throw thunder in jail. That's bad. I know you got him picked, but the man's in trouble. I'm gonna show you how great I am.
I'm the most brutal and vicious and most ruthless champion there's ever been. There's no one can stop me.
I don't want that person to come out, because if he comes out, hell is coming with him.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Busted Lip Podcast. My name is Mark Pavlich, away in the rock. TJ Harstein, the tall, cool one. And ladies and gentlemen, the two-time, let me say this again, the double, the king of karate combat is on the show via Ariel Hawani today, the one and only Smilin Sam Alvey.
Oh, how are you, my friend? Thank you. Oh, thank you so much.
We got to get a crowd applause.
We have to. We have
we
to.
have
Sammy,
to get a crowd applause.
Sammy, this is truly a pleasure. Like, I've known you for 100 years,
Yeah.
and I actually wish we kept in touch more. And the crazy part is, we had Boss Rutan on this show about a month prior, and he was talking about your fight with Tyrone Spong, and everybody had the same impression. We're like, oh my God, Tyrone Spong, ooh, that's going to be a problem. The crazy part is, once I watched the fight start and I saw Tyrone Spong's kind of game plan, I knew he was in trouble. I knew it. You were setting the trap and he didn't even know it. And it came and it was over, and rightfully so. You deserve everything you're going to get from this. And we couldn't be any happier, but please bring us through that night.
Yeah, it was a good night. I mean, it was a great result. and it was the build up to the fight, and actually the post fight too, has been the most social media presence I've had, or people talking about the fight, people talking about before and after, the biggest I've ever had. It's great. And before the fight, it was crazy. It was like 10-1. You have the people that love you, but the 10-1's like, Sam's going to die. I mean, Sam did this, not ready for
Yeah.
Man, on paper, I don't think it's that big of a mismatch. I understand he's Tyrone Spong. He's maybe the greatest kickboxer to have ever lived. But I mean, the people were counting me out, and the odds showed that way. It was plus 350 for me. He was minus like 500 or something close to it.
Yeah.
It never fazed me. It's like I knew I was going to win. I've always done really well against kickboxers. I always have.
Always.
It's like the opposite of kryptonite kickboxers. And I was ready for it. I had a good camp. I had a good everything going for me, and I had a good game plan. And I went out there and I performed. Round one, as you know, is probably drove you nuts back in the days. Round one doesn't matter to me. Round one is just
always. Yeah.
And it doesn't matter. He was cutting off the ring really well. My plan was to move and groove, get him to throw some stuff, and just not engage with him too much. But he was cutting off the ring too well. Like he was staying in front of me, and I couldn't get out from under. I was bobbing and weaving as best I could, but his pressure was great, and that's where I started kicking towards the end. So, well, let's try this, and it worked.
It did work. It did work.
The first kick that landed, it kind of surprised me on the inside. Oh, he didn't see that. So let's throw more of those. And it just started landing. And in the first time in over 80 fights, I threw and landed a head kick. Never done it before. Did it against Tyrone Spong. And yes, it was amazing. I just felt wonderful.
It's a good time for a good first head kick land, I'd say.
Right? I might throw another one at some point.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a bad idea, I don't think. Would you say you take a lot of satisfaction in that, though? Because going into that, a lot of people were saying, like Mark said, like, oh, Tyrone Spong's can be a problem. And you look at your record and what you've done, and you've knocked a lot of great people out. You've done a lot of things that are fantastic as well. So again, I don't think the paper mismatch was as much as people were making it. But Tyrone's got that kind of like that scary look to him. He's got a guy that's knocked so many people out. He's dangerous. Do you take satisfaction in going in there and doing exactly the opposite of what everybody thought was going to happen?
I really do. And when I was in the UFC, I had a great career in the UFC. I did not finish greatly with the UFC. The memory of what I did at the end of my UFC career is what everybody thinks of now. Well, it was until this last Friday night. Now I don't think about it so much. I think I have finally put that chapter of my life behind me. And I think Tyrone Spong is a huge part of that. So as much as I like the win and I like the bonus and I like this and that, it's that I don't think people are going to be using the end of my UFC career like they were for the last 2.5 years.
What do you attribute that to, Sam? The like I was there from the beginning of your UFC career, and I knew you were very effective early, and then the end of the career when we were looking through the record and stuff like that. What do you attribute that to? Because
Well,
you see you made this reincarnation right now, right? And it's like you really are embracing it. And you know what the funny part is? I love when everybody says this. Like I know there's a dark side to you, and it's not an insult. It's a real side. You have to be. There has to be a time when everybody goes, "Oh, he's always smiling. He's always happy." Yeah, but there's a side to you when you fight, right? And that's the side where you're not smiling as much as people think because what you did to him, and then you were courteous to him because you could have did worse to him, right? So that was what people don't understand. When you walked around and smacked him in the head, and then he was out, you technically could have hit him a few more times, like most people would have, but you did not, right? And
I even gave him a
that.
beat.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, I
And
gave him a beat to see if Goddard was going to pull me. 'Cause if I've knocked enough people out, they're out before they hit the ground. Like you hit it, and you
correct.
just feel their soul
Yeah.
leave a little bit. And
Yes.
I knew the fight was over. So I waited a beat to see if Goddard was going to stop it, and he gave me the beat. So I'll hit him one more time then.
Correct, but see, you're one of the few people in the history of fighting that do that. Like literally, I can count on one hand between boxing and MMA and karate combat who do that kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like most people would not have done what you did. I saw opportunity for you to hit him 10 times. You know what I mean? Like literally 10 times
Oh,
because
yeah.
you could have hit it. Because the second he was down and Goddard let you go around, you technically could have hit him 10 times. Like you just drilled him one time, then he was out. But most people would have, and then that's what I like about what you do because it's very Ali-esque. Okay, that's something Ali would have did. He would have done what you did, and then he would have just walked off like you walked off. Like don't wreck it. Don't wreck the knockout. And
Yeah.
it was that highlight. Sorry, Mr. Smong, but that highlight is going to be around forever. Like that is never going to go away, especially on our show, especially on your stuff, especially with all your kids. They're going to be, they're going to be at school going, look what Dad did, and this is going to go on for a very long time, Sam, and you deserve it. And my question is, what do you attribute the fall off of the UFC? Because you look like you have this 360-degree resurgence, and can you explain the resurgence?
Yeah, so I've got two answers to that. One is the pit. My entire career, the rise and fall of Smilin Sam I was a counter striker. I fought with my back foot on the wall.
That's right.
The cage,
Yeah.
where people couldn't take me down off that cage. And it worked because people would always come into my trap. I'd hit them with the right hook and the left if I had to, and it was great. Well, at the end, they figured out if we just come at them fast, we just bell rings, we're on them.
Yes.
I can't back up fast enough or I'm on the wall too much and they can hit me a couple times. The pit has forced me to walk forwards. I cannot go backwards on the pit because you'll fall over.
That's
Spawn,
right. Yeah.
He got me to the pit more than I wanted. He was just cutting off the ring perfectly. He got me more than I wanted, but everyone else, I have forced myself forwards. I have
Yeah.
made myself from a backup fighter from a counter fighter to I am an offensive fighter now, and I blame the pit for that. The other part of it is my gym now that I work out at is Guardian MMA for the most part, and then Militia MMA down in Chattanooga. So between those two,
With Tom Galecchio.
Tom Galecchio, yep.
Yeah.
He's got the gym down. And then I've also got Champions Corner Boxing here in town. So between those three gyms, I'm still the biggest guy and I'm still the most experienced guy. But it's changed the way I can spar. Back in Temecula and Vegas, I spar hard. I try and hurt you try to hurt, you don't try to injure. I try and hurt everyone out there. Now that I'm the biggest, baddest guy in the gym, I have to pull everything. It's all way more about speed than it is power. Because I know I can beat them. It's now I'm trying to do what I can do to make things work. I can land that little kick to the head without actually hitting them. And I've gotten more control, more speed really out of everything I've done.
Wow.
That's interesting because there's so many guys that talk about sparring a lot these days too, because we talk about concussions and things outside of the ring or octagon as well, and it happens in the gym all the time too. But we're seeing more and more people talk about the fact that sparring in the way you're describing right now, where you're not trying to kill people, you're trying to be technical and try to build up more whether it's technique or speed, whatever the case. And it seems to be a lot more effective than going in there and just having a fight,
Yeah, but both are needed. And I particularly think at the beginning of your career, you need the hard rounds. You need the people to beat you up. You need to be able to beat people up.
I agree. Yeah.
But once you get to a point, so I'll say once you get to my point where I'm now the oldest, biggest, most experienced guy in just about every gym I'll ever go to, I can't rely on just the power. I need to start doing something else. I
Yeah.
am an old dog at this point, and I know my right
Sure.
hook won't last forever. So coming forwards and adding kicks, I mean that's kind of a completely different Smiling Sam with the tools of what I used to have too.
And when you were talking about the end of the UFC career, moving into cardio combat, all the success you've had now, was there a point when you were making that decision? Okay, do I transition to something else? Do I keep chasing this? Do I keep fighting? Because that's got to be a conversation that I would imagine any fighter that gets to the same level of fights that you have has at some point or multiple points in their career. But what you've done afterwards is incredibly impressive. And I could only imagine that took a lot of mental fortitude to figure out how to sort of adapt to this new style of fighting and then can gain the success that you have. But how did that feel for you moving forward?
You know, it's terrifying because fighters, to be honestly, our talent in life is getting punched and punching people. It's not a talent that's good for any other aspect of life outside of
Yeah.
fighting. So when you're done with, and the UFC is almost the only place you can make a living fighting. When you're
Yeah,
not in the UFC and your only talent is fighting, it's terrifying. So, well, what am I going to do now? Am I going to do?
Yeah.
And as much as the UFC pays, you don't have enough money to not work. You don't have enough money to
yeah,
last the rest of your life. So I had a little. I mean, I did well. I was with the UFC for quite a while. I had a little something there, but it was an immediate. I got to start doing something. I talked to BKFC. I accepted a couple real bad fights, but they were going to pay a lot, and then everyone backed out. I couldn't get a fight.
Yeah.
So I started looking at what I'm going to do next. My wife and I, we started a food truck. So we've got that
That's
business going,
awesome.
and it's going real well. We're doing that while we're
What's the
trying
name
to.
of the truck, Sam? What's the name of the
Oh,
truck?
we're the food fight truck.
Food
the
fight.
food.
Oh,
Yeah,
That's
the
awesome.
greatest name
Why
that could
wouldn't
have
you?
been. My wife came
yeah,
up with
that's
it.
fantastic.
Oh, I love it. Yeah,
Yeah,
deep dish Chicago style pizza is our base, and then we do a little bit of everything
Wow.
else
nice.
too. Yeah.
Wow.
Beauty, beauty.
And who runs it? Who runs it on a daily basis?
So it really is my wife and I. I mean, I couldn't
Like
have
you're
picked.
technically in the truck.
Yeah, yeah. I
Like
would
what? Like
be.
say if I where in Nashville or in where in the?
Yeah, between Nashville and Murfreesboro, Middle Tennessee. Like if you put a tack in the middle of Tennessee, that's my house. So I'm all over the place there, and we do it. This year we're going a little less because I'm fighting a little more. But
Sure.
last year we were doing 4 or 5 nights a week. This year we're doing two,
Wow.
3 nights a week. And
Nice.
I have a blast doing it. I get
Do
to
you
have a
enjoy it? You
thousand.
must enjoy it.
Dude, I have 1,000 little conversations with people all over, all over the state. And
Fantastic.
at this point, some of them know me, a lot of them don't, but they will by the end of their pizza.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's
That's
awesome.
right.
That's awesome.
That's
Man,
awesome.
we're like I feel like sometimes and you see it with some other fighters as well, but the way that you present yourself, I mean, you're such a kind guy. You're always smiling, obviously, hence the name. Do you feel like that gives you in some ways sometimes an advantage with guys because you're so disarming,
Uh,
like
yeah, I
it,
wouldn't have thought so, but at this point, yeah, it has to be the case.
Yeah.
yeah,
I have so many fights, and people don't have as many fights as I do because fighters always pull out. I don't know that I've ever had a fighter pull out against me, and it's something between I'm nice. I'm not a ripped fighter. I'm more of a Fedor than I am a Faber.
That's right.
yeah.
Right. I am as unthreatening a pairing fighter as there's ever been. People always think they can beat me. People have been wrong my whole career.
But you keep knocking them out though. It's like you think they'd learn at some point. Like obviously, they don't, but it seems like they
Yeah.
should.
I'm very charming. They'll think they can.
Sammy, what about sparring with Strickland? What's that like?
Oh, it's my favorite thing in the world. Like
Yeah.
when I
You're the
can,
only
I
person in the
spar.
world that probably ever said that.
Yeah.
He and I have had so many good rounds. No, he is. Like I said, we don't spar to injure each other, but we might. We might injure each
It
other.
happens, I'm sure. I'm
Yeah,
sure.
we've hurt each other every time we spar, but the
Yeah.
actual injuries there've been a couple. No, it's great. I love that pace. I love going hard balls to the walls. But at the end of my camp, because most of my camp was here in Guardian,
Yeah.
but I can't be the big dog and compete against the other big dogs.
Sure.
I went out to Las Vegas, Team Quest, California first, and then Las Vegas, and I trained with Strickland and Chris Curtis and
Chris Curtis too, yeah.
Oh yeah, just a bunch of guys that can beat me up or at least give me a good round. And man, they did. I went out there and got beat up a couple times, beat up a couple people a couple times, and just had a good time doing it, just getting my mojo back.
Well, I saw
And
that picture with Strickland, and his nose was the one that was bleeding.
that photo's old. That photo's a
Okay,
few years
okay.
back. Yeah. Yeah. I love that. That photo keeps popping up though. People keep finding
Yeah,
it.
let it
Like,
pop up. Let it pop up. That
Good.
doesn't
yeah,
hurt
I'm
Yeah,
happy
keep
nothing.
it
with
going.
that.
Yeah, reshare it a couple times, no big deal, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah, that's awesome. I feel like like getting, like you said, the hard sparring is worth it. But I've said it a million times before. Mark and I've talked about this. Losing in the gym, or at least being challenged in the gym, is the only way to continue to get better. No matter what sport you're doing, whether it's fighting or anything else. If you're just crushing everybody every single day, or you're going in and wiping everybody out, it's going to be hard to really break through any new skills, or kind of adapt to anything. So, training with guys like that, obviously Strickland's going to push you, that's for sure. But I feel like you can't
Yeah.
get better without that.
Yeah, you need it. You really do. You need the people that are better than you. You need the people that are as good as you, and you need people that are worse than you. The worst,
Yeah.
Yeah.
so you can practice new things. The good, so you can see if it works, and then the better than you to try and find a way to make it work.
Yeah.
And it just all needed. You need to be able to take your lumps. You need to be able to get hit and recover from it.
I love seeing the sparring between you and McKee in the beginning when they're showing it. Most people don't. I don't even think they're comprehending that you're sparring your wife. She's wearing headgear in a bar, and
Uh,
you're sparring with your wife prior to going out to fight Tyrone Spong. Tell me I'm lying.
No, I absolutely. That's another big thing I've changed since the UFC. UFC, I warmed up like everyone else. I'd hit mitts, I'd stretch, I'd do this and that.
Yeah, yeah,
Since
yeah.
karate combat, I spar a full fight backstage. And my
You do.
wife is my first. I do. My wife is first, third, and fifth round, and then my other corner is my second and fourth, possibly sixth if I need it. No, and we
People
spar
watching
hard.
this show, people watching this show, did you hear what Sam just said? He admitted it on the show that his wife is his sparring partner. So all you killers out there that are lining up like Tyrone Spong did, be careful. Be careful.
I,
It's the Alvey.
I,
It's the Alvey hypnotize. They hypnotize you, and then they knock you out, and then you're a
oh,
highlight reel for the rest of their children's lives.
I'm gonna post the video of me and her sparring before the fight here on Instagram probably tomorrow morning.
Yeah,
That is
fantastic.
wild.
Yeah,
Yeah.
When
yeah.
did you
She's
start
got a
doing that?
bar on, and yeah.
Wait, what
When
was
did you
that?
start sparring? When did you start sparring before the fights? Like just when you got into
It,
karate combat?
Yes, it would have been my first title fight for Karate Combat. So what happened was I was
Yeah.
fighting Ross Levine. Ross Levine is if Tyrone Spong is the best kickboxer ever fought, Ross Levine's close to that. Ross Levine was a tougher fight too
Yeah.
for me. But
Yeah.
he was fast. But anyways, I woke up that day and I was sick. Like I couldn't get anything going all day long. I was just trying to get myself, and I had nothing. So I told it was Chase Peel and then my wife. I said, guys, I need the adrenaline because this ain't working. I need you
Yeah,
guys
you
to
need
try and
something.
kick the. I need you guys to try and kick the shit out of me backstage. I mean, we're gonna do 5 rounds and we're gonna go hard. And so okay, happy to do it. I wish you would have thought about it a little more. But we went back there and we just sparred hard. I mean, we went 5 rounds. My adrenaline got there. So, all right, we're good to go. Then I went out there and I sparred 6 rounds against Ross, and I felt great. I said, all right,
Wow.
I can dig
Wild.
this. And so we
Yeah.
just started in Mexico City, did the same thing. I broke my foot in Mexico City before the fight, but
Yeah, boss told us on the show that you were.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
said
Yeah.
that he said you busted. You're doing the Karate Kid fighting on one wheel.
yeah, I was trying to hide
Jesus.
it, but I don't think I hit it very well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
You
still
made it
won the
um,
work.
fight though.
That's what it is. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, it was the mats were put together poorly under the mats, and there's a little
Oh
spot, and I rolled my foot and said, I think I just broke it. And we were hoping the adrenaline was going to kick in and cover the pain. It didn't.
And
no.
that was literally right before the fight in the back room.
20 minutes before the
Holy
fight.
shit.
Thank God I had Justin Danger Nunley. He's a big influencer on TikTok. He was cornering me. He was just filming everything, and he kind of filmed it after, and we kind of knew what happened. But after seeing, he said, "Yeah, that's exactly what happened."
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's
So
wild. Yeah.
so what now, Sammy? What's the game plan now moving forward? Now you're double champ. I believe that Karate Combat would have to now there should be some kind of more serious money involved. Am I correct?
I have one more fight on my contract, and I'm getting paid well. Like I said, this is my full time job, but
You're
I have one
doing
more fight on
well.
my contract. Yeah, I've got one more fight on my contract, and
Good.
then I'm gonna try and do weller. I'm gonna.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's always a good
Yeah,
way to
I know.
go.
Yeah, and after my fight, I call out Eddie Hall, and I hope that fight happens. I
Sure.
want to fight Eddie. It would be such a cool fight to fight someone like that.
Why do you want
Is
to fight Eddie Hall? Of all, like that's
Uh, he 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 seems to be exactly like me. Like when somebody says,
yeah,
"Hey, you want to do it?" His answer is yes before you know what it is. Like
yeah.
yeah,
he fought the
yeah,
two guys at once. I would do that in a heartbeat. He fought the world's strongest man, which I'm trying to do in a
yeah.
heartbeat. He takes everything he does seems like, yeah. What's the worst that'll happen? I'm big and strong. It'll work itself
Yeah,
out.
Sure,
he does seem Eddie Hall does seem like that. He seems
he
like I'm just
does.
so big that it might hurt, but I'm pretty big.
Yeah. And I would love the opportunity. I think he would. I think it'd be right up his alley. And where technique wise, of course, I'll be better. It's my career.
Of course. Yeah.
He'll
Sure.
have 150 to 200 pounds on me, which is a big advantage for him too. So,
He
Sam,
actually
okay, let's
moves
say that.
pretty well for a guy that size. To be honest, I mean, when you watch him, he's not like
Yeah.
a slow guy for that. It's crazy how athletic
Yeah.
that dude is. I mean,
Yeah.
again, he's got a huge disadvantage going against you, but he's got. I mean, he's not exactly not dangerous. That's for sure.
I. I'm curious if he could actually bear hug me to make me tap out. Like I wonder if he could. Like
That could happen. That legit could
right.
Possible.
happen.
And I wouldn't
Possible.
tap, but I wonder if it would make me pass out or break something.
Yeah.
Okay, minus the Eddie Hall thing, who really could you fight right now? Because you have the two championships, right? Is
Yeah.
Karate Combat caught up to you now? Can they catch up to you? Meaning, like, is there actually someone you could fight in light heavyweight, or is there someone you could fight in heavyweight?
Yeah, so that was the problem. Like my last fight was last
Mm-hmm.
July, and I've been bugging them since October for another
Sure,
fight.
sure.
And they
Yeah.
go, don't worry, there's nobody. Then there was one guy who was almost, and then he lost. Like, oh damn.
Yeah, yeah.
So they found Tyrone Spong, and I went up a weight class. Now up a weight class, there's Robelis. If you
Yeah.
remember
Yeah.
him, he's the 6'8" Taekwondo bronze medalist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He will likely be my next fight in the heavyweight division. But I would
Okay.
like to get back down to 205 and defend that.
Of course. Of
Um,
course.
I'm not sure. They've got a couple guys that are borderline ready, and we just have to see if any of them get the call.
Yeah.
Because that's what I figured. Once you won both titles, I was like, oh, they're not caught up. They're not to that yet. Like Karate Combat's awesome to watch, but they're not caught up division wise. Meaning
Right.
like they don't have 25 heavyweights, they don't have 20 light heavyweights. They just don't, right? And until
Yeah,
they do, this is a problem for you.
Yeah, and I was thrilled with them giving me the second shot because now I have two belts. I get two weight divisions I can
Correct.
fight in, so that'll stay a little busier. I was sure I was gonna fight. There's a kid who fought in this card. Jaden was his name, and he's been on a tear, but he lost this fight, and he
Yeah.
lost
Yeah, yeah.
to
Reset.
Yeah.
yeah, and the guy that beat him bad, and so
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
it's
wish
a
I
wrap.
could.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I wish I could remember his name, but I could see that one happening. I think he was the one champion Muay Thai,
Yeah.
Muay Thai king or something. So
Is
Yeah.
Karate Combat going to be moving around lots? Like, is that going to be a thing for them? Because you were in Dubai, right?
yeah, it seems to be with Karate
Yeah.
Combat. I fought in Nashville, Vegas, Mexico, Dominican Republic, and now Dubai. So I've been everywhere
Crazy.
with them.
Crazy.
Yeah, and I've always been a
Crazy.
fighter
Wow.
that likes to travel.
Yes, you
Yeah.
do.
Tough
Yeah.
thing to do though. I mean, you're going all over the place. You have what time zones and all that kind of stuff. It's like it adds another element. But if you're killing it, you're killing it. You know what difference
Yeah,
does it make?
when I first started, like I said, you don't make money unless you're with the UFC or you're in a certain
Yeah.
circumstance with a company. So when I first started fighting, I made $200 and I got to travel. I've been all over the world making no money, but I got to go there for free, and I just loved it. Now I'm making money, and I still get to see the world. I still get to go to
Yeah,
everywhere.
that's
And
great.
it's really a blessing.
It really
Oh,
is.
for sure. When you were fighting Spong, did you have any expectations that maybe he didn't live up to his opponent to you, or was there stuff that he did even better than you expect? I know you said he cut off the ring really well, but what did you see in there that made you start to change the way you were doing things and then got to where you were and the success that you had?
It was really the ring control that threw me. I knew he had it.
Yeah.
I mean, he spent years boxing now and Muay Thai before that.
Yeah.
I knew he had it. I just thought I'd be able to be faster than him. And he just,
Mhm.
he made it look easy. Like, well, shoot, I'm not even close. He was slowly inching forwards. And I, especially round one, I didn't want to get into a trading match with him. He spent so much time boxing now, like just straight boxing for the last
Yeah,
decade.
he has.
I didn't want to get into a who hits harder match with him. So that's where the kick started coming in. He did land one kick it was the middle of round two before I knocked out. He landed one kick, and I've always been a guy, I don't check because checking hurts, and I know I can
Yeah,
take a
it
kick.
does. Yeah.
He kicked me, and dear Lord, did that hurt. I was limping through the airport the next day. Oh, I'm
Yeah.
still glad I didn't check it, but I wish he wouldn't have thrown it.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, guy kicks like a mule. You know, that's a
Yeah, he
lot.
does. He does.
Easily the hardest kick I've ever taken.
Yeah,
No,
for
for
sure.
sure. For sure.
For sure.
For sure.
Sam, you've got kids, and I always like to ask these kinds of questions because I have a little girl, another one on the way in a couple of days. But when you have kids in this business, because both you and your wife are in this business together, they're seeing that every day. They eat, sleep, and breathe fighting just like you guys do. Do you have any thoughts about them getting into it? Whether it's on just the recreational level, professional level, does it worry you? Do you want them to do it? Do you encourage it? How do you manage that? Because it's interesting.
Yeah. I hope none of them fight for a living.
Yeah.
It is
Yeah.
too as much fun as I
Hmm.
have. And as much skill as it takes. I understand it takes a lot of luck too, and a lot of fighters don't
Hmm.
like to admit that. But you have to get a good decision. You have to get a good stop, but you have to
It's so
not
true.
have a bad decision.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I tell everyone I fought Jason Guida, Clay Guida's brother.
Oh yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
Yeah.
to this day, I think I lost that fight, but I fought him in my hometown and I won.
Yeah.
And had I lost that, my career would have been completely different. I mean, if I had not
Yeah.
gotten lucky with one of the judges that night, my career would have looked completely different. Um, and so to go into a sport where so much luck, so much of what your career will look like depends on luck, I don't blame anyone for not doing it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
It is. Yeah.
yeah, all of my kids have been to the gym before they've been home. They were born. We went to the gym on the way home, and then we went home. They all
Wow.
wrestle, they all jujitsu, they all kickbox, they all do it. They do everything because you'll be a better person if you do.
Oh,
Couldn't
no
agree more.
question. No
Yeah, I
question.
couldn't agree more. I
No
would
question.
imagine though, like when you're fighting and traveling as much as you are too, it adds another element that I always curious if the motivation of having kids and then and providing for them and being great for them outweighs the challenge of being whether it's away from them or
Sure.
having them watch you get hurt or whatever the case. Do you find it more of a motivator or more challenging? I know it'd be a tough question to answer, but I was curious.
Whoops. Most of my career, I just took my kids with me. I've
Yeah.
got photos of
Wow.
MFC having Reagan have her little headphones. She was in the corner with me. Reagan, my I
Yeah.
don't know, 1 year old, cornered me in a fight. So most of the time,
Oh,
my
nuts.
kids have gone with me. Lately, I've got too many of them. I can't get them all there.
Yeah.
So they don't. Um, it's it is a motivator. Yeah, I don't have any problem doing it. We just make it work. If I have to go to 3 gyms in the day, they come with me. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
they know what the deal is, and they for the most part are behaved. They're still kids, so they get away from me
Yeah.
every now and then.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
they love watching me do it. They love watching me brag about it. They like watching me teach. They just enjoy being part of it. And if they were to fight someday, they will be the greatest fighters that have ever lived. They will be able to beat the brakes off me right now. But
Yeah.
I'm hoping they're good at baseball. And plus, I'm a fighter. I don't have a retirement. I'm hoping my kids are real good
Yeah.
at baseball or golf or soccer or something.
Yeah. Golf. Put them in golf.
They,
Yeah.
Prepare you for the rest of your life. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
they are my retirement plan. So I have so
Yeah.
many
That's
of them.
awesome. That's awesome. I mean, we talked about getting into karate combat and all that kind of stuff and moving from UFC. But when you changed from UFC, because obviously, you're a stand-up guy. Everybody knew that from the beginning of your career all the way through. And then moving to karate combat with those rules change, the difference in the rules. I would imagine, obviously, you absolutely loved it because it took away a lot of the stuff that you wouldn't have to worry about from UFC. But do you feel like that helped you a lot focus a lot more and then just consider that as, okay, this is how I'm moving forward. This is how I'm going to do it. And I know you talked about the pit being a big sort of benefit for you trying to learn to move forward a little bit more. But how was it adjusting to the rules?
Uh, the rules are like superpowers for me. The
Yeah.
rules
Yeah.
are there's
I
no
agree.
wrestling or jiu-jitsu. Uh,
Yeah.
in karate combat, I am the best wrestler.
Yeah. No question.
Yeah, and the other nice thing about karate combat is I've been cutting weight my whole life. karate guys, they don't cut weight their whole lives.
They do
They
not.
show up and they fight. So I have been
Oh, that's
so much
interesting.
bigger than everyone outside of Tyrone. Even Tyrone Spong, I went up a weight class and I was still bigger than him by 10 pounds.
Yeah.
And
Crazy.
so it's been a lot of fun. Now, when I fight that Robelis, he's going to outweigh me by like 30 or 40 pounds. So I'm going to have to.
For sure he will. Yeah.
I'm going to make some adjustments. And if Eddie Hall comes, he's going to be 200 pounds
Yeah.
heavier than me.
Yeah. You better put some
Yeah.
bricks in your pocket. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think he's cutting much weight. That's for sure.
Yeah. So there've been a lot of advantages to it. My wrestling base that I have is good enough to defend everything, and nobody's going to waste a lot of time trying to take me down. And so I get to really focus in the fight of just I can kick him in the head now because I don't have to worry about him taking me down.
Yeah. Yeah. It makes a big difference, I feel. I mean, because that's such a one of those things where strategically you're fighting a guy that's going to take you down the UFC. You got to be conscious of all that stuff. Whereas now you're doing this and you're just going to be comfortable, throw as hard as you can,
Are
Yeah,
you in
that's huge.
Are you in constant contact with karate combat right now?
Yeah, I'm talking. I told them today, so I did.
Yeah.
Done a lot of podcasts today.
I know.
You guys were the first ones to reach out to me. I said, "Yes,
Of
I'm
course,
in."
listen, you were in the corner still, and I was reaching out. What are you crazy?
Yeah.
Like people. Listen, that one thing, Sammy, it's low hanging fruit, right? I mean, what you did was special, right? And it's like I was thinking, like it was just so special, and it's a double champ, and it's a story. It's a Cinderella man story. It's beyond a story. It's funny too. You're a man of faith, and as you know, so am I. And what I'm saying is, like, this is so biblical too. On top of it, when you really think about it, right? There's so many different lessons from your story now with the children, with the animals, with the whole craziness of it all. And when I saw it, I was so happy because I know this isn't just a sports story. This isn't just a Cinderella man story. This is bigger than all that, in my opinion, so that's why it's like, I've had you on the podcast before, but never this feeling of you on the podcast, because this is just different. This is something different. This is not just a success story. This is something so profound that what you're doing right now. And for people that are sitting at home watching going, oh, I just want to give up. I'm just so tired. I'm just, and then that we have you that goes, I'm not tired. I'm not going to give up. I'm going to show everybody. I'm going to show myself. I'm going to show my kids. I'm going to show my wife, and I'm going to show the world. And you just did.
Oh, preach! I remember one of my last fights. I believe it was against Julian Marquez in the UFC.
Yep.
We had a hell of a fight of the night. I got choked out, and I went out. I didn't tap.
That's right.
I got back, and I went to the bathroom, and I was just tearing up. So I knew my UFC career was over. And
Sure.
I made a little post TikTok or whatever. Hey guys, it didn't go my way, but hey, good Lord's in my corner, and His plan will always be better than mine, always. And I'll be damned if it wasn't. I mean, his plan was all right, you're done with the UFC. We're going to put you somewhere else. We're going to put you somewhere else where you will be the star, where you will be able to claim
It's
you
unreal.
are the greatest. You will be able to rest the rest of your life. And it was all his plan I didn't have to know that's what it was. It wasn't my job to know. It's my job to listen. It was my job to take his path and make him shine. And that's what I am trying to do every day. I am so grateful for every breath he lets me take and every face he lets me punch.
That's right. That's right.
Is that how you feel like you've been able to kind of push through though and stuff? Because I mean, obviously faith is a great way to be able to pick yourself up and keep moving forward. But I think Mark and I were just talking about this before the podcast. I think this is May is Men's Mental Health Month. So it's a, interesting topic always.
In Canada. Yeah.
In Canada,
Okay.
yeah. So how, like, going through all that stuff, I know I said it before, but I mean, like, you get to that point where you're thinking my career is over and then all of this stuff happens. And really, I would imagine it's just a matter of you continuing to take those steps. But how did you pull yourself up to do that? It's not something everybody can do.
I've leaned on the Lord my entire career. I wasn't supposed to be a fighter, and He said, "No, you're going to be a fighter. You're going to do this." I said, "Okay."
Mhm.
A big. I've never been a guy that after a fight I get the microphone and say, "Jesus Christ, you're the great." I never wanted to
No,
do
you
that.
don't. No. Yeah.
And I wanted to be. I felt it turned people off. Like people, oh, he's a religious guy. I wanted them to like me, and then I would show them. But Neil Dariush, he fought over in Fight Island, and
Yeah, I
he
saw
won
it.
the fight that he wasn't supposed to win, and he gave the greatest post-fight speech
I
of
totally
all
agree.
time. And
I totally agree.
it inspired me to the point now. Every fight, I thank God first because of what he did, and I hope I can be that story for someone else. I hope I can.
Do you
I
notice
can.
that though, Sammy? Sammy, do you notice that though? Right? See, because of people with faith, I notice like people say it, but you can kind of tell when someone's ingenuous or they're just saying it like I'd like to order a Big Mac and fries, right?
Mhm.
And I'm not criticizing them. I'm saying is I can see that, like I can see
Yeah.
it in their daily life, you know. And I'm not
Mhm.
gonna, and I won't be that Christian that criticizes people for doing it openly, but I do see it. And what I'm
Mhm.
saying is I've always seen you carry it such a nice way at the same time as it would attract people to Christianity, not deter them from Christianity.
Mhm.
And that's what I've always noticed. You know, I check out your daily post every day, and it's funny because most Christians will go and say, okay, you know, they want to recite Bible verses all the time, right? And I always tell the young Christians, you know, before you even start reading the Bible and listening to the Bible, why don't you change yourself from the inside out, right? And then you'll find out how it really works, and then you can get into that after. Because the last thing I want to do is for new Christians that come in is just spew a bunch of Bible verses at them and think they're going to run to Christianity when they won't, you know?
Hmm. No,
Yeah.
absolutely, absolutely, and that's I try to live by it. I try to be as good a Christian as I can. We all fall short by the glory, but the glory of God. But I do what I can to represent myself in the best light that I can. I post every day. I did daily Bible verse.
That's right.
That this last fight, I told everyone I was gonna. I always do a team prayer with the locker room,
I
and
saw it. That
it's
was
something
great.
I have done always.
Is that
And
the
this
first
time,
time though you showed it though?
yes, yes.
Okay, because I've
Uh,
never seen it before. I know you do it, but I've
mhm.
never seen it before. And then I saw it this show, and I was like, "Well, did I miss it?" Because I've never seen it before being filmed.
Yeah, I've never posted anything
Yeah,
before because I don't want to be. Oh, I only do it to post. I
Mhm.
started this thing, school SKOOL, where I'm an online MMA coach and I'm working with people around the world and it's going real well. I told them, guys, you're part of my team now. I would like to pray with you guys. I can't do it on school, but if you follow me on Instagram, I'll do it with you guys there. It's okay. So they all showed up and they were watching, and because it's on Instagram, so does everyone else. And I think I had 42 people live as I was doing it.
wow.
And if you went and look at the post now, I think we're up to like 12,000 or an
Wow.
insane number of views that were there, that watched the prayer afterwards. And it was like, oh, so this is a thing I can do. And now
Yes.
it's like, I am going to do this every time I can. Every time I have an internet service while I'm praying, I am going to pray with the world. And it's funny how he works like that. It's something I didn't think I would ever do, but now it's something I will never not do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He
it's
can
good.
just, yeah, he just opened my eyes to it.
Well, you see the sense of community that it brings, right? And I think that's what a lot of people
Definitely.
lack these days. I mean, everybody's they are caught up in their phones or whatever the case. But if you could bring something to them through their phone that brings that sense of community and togetherness, I mean,
Yeah,
that's tough to beat, man. You know?
yeah, and I can think of
Yeah.
nothing else I would rather bring to them.
Yeah.
A good punch is great, but a good Bible verse, a good prayer is even better.
Yeah, for sure. Well, the good punch is what gets people to listen to your good Bible verse.
Yeah,
You know,
Sure.
yeah,
it's a conduit through. Yeah, for
It
sure.
definitely is. It
There
definitely
you
is.
go. That was the
Yeah.
tool the Lord gave you. But you know, I, I just had something I was about to ask, and then I got off track there. But I'll think about it in a second here. Mark, I'll let you fire away. I just had something right, and then I said a joke,
Well,
and then it's gone. You know?
well, Sammy, with all the stuff you did, we can't appreciate you enough coming on the show. We want to know, you know, if you got a message for the people watching out there today about your journey. We please share it on the show today.
yeah. It'll never be easy. It's not supposed to be. This life is a test for the next one. Be there, live your life by the book. I mean, the good and evil. That there's a book that will tell you what. Oh, there's 66 of them. That'll tell you what that good and evil is. Follow the good. Be as good as you can be, because this life is just a test. I know it gets hard. You might be at some point like I was. I don't know where my next dollar is going to come from. I have the skill of being able to be punched better than most.
Hmm.
And I found a way to use that skill to develop a new fan base, develop a new scene, a new style, a new everything. And now I get to preach a little bit to people around the world. So as hard as it gets for you, as hard as it is for you, It will get better. It can get better. Just accept it and allow it to get better. And that's something a lot of people that they don't allow it to get better. They get into this negative, negative Nancy mind frame where it's bad and it's always going to be bad. It's bad now. It's supposed to be. It is bad for everyone. It is bad for everyone. Take Elon Musk. He's got more money. He's got more money than all of the rest. I mean, everyone else. And he is. I mean, his company's burning down. And he is not showing signs of weakness right now. And I have no idea if he's a Christian, but he is not taking it sitting down.
Correct.
He is not. He is not. You know. He's not being bad to himself. He's accepting it, moving on. He's trying to improve, and that's what has to be done by everyone.
Definitely.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you so much,
Awesome.
Sammy, for
Thank
being
you
on
so
the
much,
show. We
sir.
really appreciate you coming on. We knew you must be jet lagged out of your mind right now.
You know, not so bad because I was fighting at like 1 a.m. over there. I just slept during the day and was awake at night, so I kept my
wow.
Yeah, it just worked out well. So I'm feeling. I slept last night here in my own bed, and I feel good.
Fantastic.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Sam. It's a pleasure, my friend.
I done tussle with a whale. I done handcuff lightning, throw thunder in jail. That's bad. I know you got him picked, but the man's in trouble. I'm gonna show you how great I am.
I'm the most brutal and vicious and most ruthless champion there's ever been. There's no one can stop me.
I don't want that person to come out, because if he comes out, hell is coming with him.
Run with the man.